This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Regina Lee.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast here in the South Charlotte area. And today I have the General Manager of Blue Star Move Management, Jennifer Noch. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you?
Doing great, Regina. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's so good to see you. We had fun meeting, I'd say about a year ago, having coffee and getting to know you. And I think one thing that's really fun is how passionate you really are about this industry. And I happen to know there's a little story. So tell us your why of what makes you tick in this industry.
So I hope it's okay to say I'm 50 years old. I just want everybody to kind of get because I'm an adult child, right? I'm an adult child. We always talk about that, the adult child. But about 8 to 10 years ago, my grandparents, who are in Columbus, Ohio, it was time for them to downsize and move out of their home. And at the time, I was a mother of two, working full time, deep in it. And I just didn't have a lot of time and I couldn't make it up to Columbus to help out. Now, my grandparents are okay because my parents were there, my aunt and uncle were there, my cousins were there. So they had help. But I know a lot of times when I meet people, they don't have the help, right? To help them figure out what they should take, sort it all, and then figure out how to distribute the things that aren't moving forward, because that ends up being a very overwhelming, large task. So when I got into the business, I think, at first when someone says, hey, do you want to do this? I thought it was moving. Oh, moving. I don't know. Right. But it took me a minute to realize I'm not moving. It's not me doing it. I'm serving others and helping others do that process. So that's what gives me the motivation every day, is that I'm serving others and helping them get through it.
It is quite an overwhelming task, having moved a lot in my lifetime. So tell us about Blue Star Move Management. And I guess what strikes me is it's not called moving company, it's called Move Management. So let's start. What is Move Management at Blue Star?
So Move Management is just a term. It's really just to help people get ready for a move, right? But it kind of starts way out early, and it, especially in a downsizing situation, if you're going through a downsize move is a move like none other, right? Because most people, when they move, they're just picking everything up. They might call a few things, here and there as you're going through. Oh, I don't need that. We're just talking a handful of things. But for the most part, everybody grabs everything up and they move into the larger home, right? You keep going bigger. But at some point, a lot of people start to unwind all that, right? It's time to unwind it and go the other direction. And that's when it becomes a much different move, because now you have to make major decisions on quite a lot of content, especially depending on the amount of square feet you live in now and how much you're going to. So the company, Move Management really was designed to help that particular move, because in that particular move, you have to identify what you want to keep. You have to identify it in such a way that you're not going to bring too much and be overwhelmed when you get to your new home with boxes everywhere and content that doesn't have anywhere to live anymore because the space isn't replicated, right? And then, of course, everything that's left over, that's usually the part that gives people the stress, because they don't know what to do with it. Like, where does it go? How do I get rid of it? So this is helping people to facilitate, do you want to sell those things and try to monetize any of this to offset the costs of the move that's coming up? Of course, you can donate things, and then unfortunately, some things make their way to disposal, right? So
right.
That's
Which is
really
so sad. I've had to recently deal with that. And you're like, oh my God,
yeah,
I love this thing, but nobody
right.
wants it.
Nobody wants it, right? And then that's the other thing too. People find out that, gosh, I thought my children would want our dining room table or our hutch. And a lot of times feelings are hurt when they find out No, because most children like myself, I have a house full of stuff. I've got everything. I don't
Right,
need
right.
anything. And then of course the young people, when I say young people, like my kiddos, like my daughter is 26 years old. She got married a year ago. China wasn't even on the registry. Like things are just different now, right? And so
You're so right.
those are the kind of things that you just kind of have to walk people through and help them to understand just kind of where the market is now and in terms of secondhand items and what they can do with it.
So walk us through then all the services that Blue Star Move Management offers, because you've just really opened my eyes. I've just dealt with this personally, the whole downsizing thing, and I've got, stuff over there at my mom's, stuff in storage, and I may never want this stuff again. So these are big decisions. So walk us through what you guys can do.
So in a downsizing situation, we usually start, if it's a downsize, I like to start with space planning. Okay. I think space planning is one of the number one things a person can do to help them through the process, because once you've established the furniture that can go into your new home, right? And you do a space plan there, that becomes your blueprint for how to downsize strategically. So let me just really quickly run through the services that we offer. So if you're getting ready to downsize, of course, we can help you figure out what to keep and all of that. But a lot of people are going to be selling the home. So a lot of times we can just help you get started we call it pre-move organizing with staging in mind. That's getting the house decluttered and ready to sell. Now, in that process, that could be a downsize where as we declutter, we're figuring out, kind of like an adoption agency for your content. For anything you don't want, where is it going to go now, right? So we can help figure those things out. We can help get the house ready for sale, for your walkthroughs and your listing photos. We can, of course, help you pack your things, move your things, and then get your things unpacked and put away all the way down to hanging your pictures.
That is amazing. I've never really thought about all of that being under one roof and being able to offer that type of service. So senior moving is a world of its own, having recently gone through that as well. I see that as one of the services you guys have highlighted on your website.
Yes. I would say that the bulk of the moves that we do are generally for seniors. I mean, we can help anybody.
Sure.
It's just that not everybody's downsizing, right? And the downsizing part, that's the overwhelming part.
Yeah. Can you move to anywhere? Do you guys, if they're here in the Charlotte area and they're moving to Arizona, Raleigh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's just say, let's rewind that and say maybe someone's coming from California, right? So let's say they're out in California and they're moving to the Charlotte area. In that instance, what I help them do is I help them find someone like me in their area who can help them with the downsizing on their side, right? So I find a move manager in California who can help them through the downsizing, help them facilitate what to do with the leftover content, pack up the content that they want to take. And then we have relationships with long distance haulers, so we can get you estimates for your long distance move. And then once you get to Charlotte, if you'd like, we can help you get unpacked and put away, right? And then to reverse it, yes, we could start in Charlotte. So we would be the ones helping to downsize and do the packing. And then again, line out your move to a different state and then find somebody on that end who can help you unpack and get put away. So we can act as a project manager, I guess, for your whole project moving across the states.
Are there any misconceptions in your industry that you would like to chat about?
Misconceptions. Oh, that's a good one. I might have to circle back to that one, Regina.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Because I'm trying to think what would that be? A misconception. Okay. Well, yes, I do have one. Estate sales. Let's talk about estate sales. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm meeting with people and we start talking about content, maybe they do have, because a lot of times we're working with people coming from 3,000 plus square feet, right? And they're usually moving into about 1,500 to 1,400 if they're going to a senior living community. That's half a house, right? That's usually you're leaving behind half a house. That's quite a bit of stuff. In that instance, I do usually recommend doing an estate sale to help clear out the rest of the house, okay? So when I'm talking to people about this, what I'll hear is, oh, no, I don't think we're a big fan of estate sales because we had some friends or we had family that they did an estate sale and they didn't make any money. Okay. And at first, when I first got into the industry, I thought, oh, yeah, that's not good. But then it took me a while to understand, well, wait a minute. Sometimes it's not about making money. It's about not spending any money.
Ooh.
Okay. It's not about spending money because when you do an estate sale, yes, you're bringing somebody in. They're going to have to go through your entire home, get everything sorted. They display it on tables like your home becomes a store, right? Because people are going to be shopping in your home.
Right.
So they have to display everything and set it up and make it look good, right? It still has to be presentable to the buyers. But that's a lot of work, right? There's a lot of work involved in that. And so, of course, the idea is to get people to buy as much as they can and walk it out the door. That's how you start to clear it out. And then most estate sales, once they're done and they've had their sale, anything that's left just gets donated. Okay. Now, let's just say you don't have an estate sale and that's not the manner that you clear out your house. Then you have to pay somebody to come in and clear it out. So now you're talking thousands of dollars, even if it's a junk hauler, which is fine.
Really?
But it could be thousands of dollars that you're spending to clear everything out, right?
Wow.
So that's probably one misconception that I would want to put out, that estate sale doesn't always mean you're going to make money. Sometimes it just means you're not going to spend any. It just depends on how much you fetch in your estate sale.
So when you hear the word estate sale, I've always thought, oh, it means they have really nice things.
Right.
Can anyone have an estate sale when you've got, just like you're saying, half a house to
right.
purge?
You can, obviously. And that does come down to the type of content that's in the home, right? Another misconception is that it's the furniture pieces that are going to sell the best. And in today's market, furniture does not sell that well because there's so much of it in the secondhand market, right? So there was a couple things that happened to make the cost or the price of furniture, the value of secondhand furniture come down. Of course, you have the baby boomer population. You've got a very, very large group of people who are all downsizing. So they all used to have this furniture, the antiques. They used to be in their home and locked in there and not for sale, right? But now all of a sudden they find themselves not needing it, not having the room for it, and it's back out into the secondhand market. So even antiques have kind of suffered in their value because there's so much availability of it, right? The other thing that happened is when COVID came along, good old COVID, everybody went back into the home to work. They got tired of their things and they unloaded their houses, right?
Oh, wow.
So that put a lot of content back out into the marketplace, making the prices go a little bit lower for furniture. So furniture, unless it's a high-end piece, now, like your Hinkle Harris or your Baker, those manufacturers, they've had their value. A lot of the mid-century modern, Danish modern furniture, because it's still popular with the young crowd,
right,
that's held its value. But your dark wood furniture, which I still like dark wood, I'm still a dark wood fan, but a lot of people aren't. Those pieces of furniture are hard to sell. And if you do sell them or donate them, they'll probably get painted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my, those are excellent points that I've never thought of. Jennifer, it's so impressive just to see everything you guys have thought of from beginning to end. Really, really amazing. So kind of summarize for us one last time before we wrap up the services that Blue Star Move Management offers.
Okay. I always like to start with space planning. And actually, no matter if it's a downsize or not, because sometimes you're going to a house that maybe doesn't have, it's got an open space plan, it's got an open floor plan, right? It might be 3,000 square feet and you're coming from 3,000, but it's a different space plan, right? The space planning actually also helps the move be more efficient. So the movers know exactly where to put the furniture and they're just more efficient, which saves time and money, of course. So we can help with space planning. We can help you get downsized or figure out what content to take, what to leave behind. And then of the things that are left behind, we can help you figure out if you can monetize any of it. Do you want to donate it? Do you want to ship it to friends and family, right? We can help you do that. And of course, anything disposal, we can help with that. And then once it's time for your move, we can help you get moved, packed, moved, unpacked. We also do car shipping. So know that we can ship cars as well. That's another service that maybe we haven't talked about. But if you're moving across the nation, we can help you ship your car.
Amazing. You guys do it all. Well, I'm very, very impressed, Jennifer. How do our listeners find Blue Star Move Management?
They can go to bluestarmovemanagement.com or they can give me a call, 704-890-9980. I don't know if you put that out there, or email me. And I don't know if you put that up, Regina.
Yes, we will. Well, thank you, Jennifer. It has been a pleasure. I am super, super impressed with you and the company. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpsouthcharlotte.com. That's gnpsouthcharlotte.com or call 980-351-5719.